Yeah, a very good morning to you all. We are so glad to welcome all the distinguished guests, all the principals and all headmisters and vice principals and all the teachers and all the students in YouTube. It's a great honor to, host this inauguration because this is the first, it's a great initiative. I think it's the first time we have ever done a French online quiz for the Gulf region. And we are so glad to welcome you all for this. And we are also very glad, at least for the overwhelming support we receive from all the schools around the Gulf region. And we are going to start with, we are going to, need the blessing of God for this function. So we are going to start with a prayer. First, I'm going to call upon Roshan Abdullah to, lead us in Arabic prayer. And then we are going to have English prayer by Korean.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي
So we are going to start with a prayer. First, I'm going to call upon Roshan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى صدق الله العظيم.
Okay, now we'll have an English prayer by Korean.
With the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the Very Merciful. Read in the name of your Lord who created. He created man from a clod. Read, and your Lord is most honorable, who taught to write with the pen, taught man what he knew not. Nay, man is more surely inordinate, because he sees himself free from want. Surely to your Lord is the return. Have you seen him who forbids a servant when he prays? Have you considered if he were on the right way or enjoined guarding against evil? Have you considered if he gives his light to the truth and turns his back?
Okay. Uh, Now I would like to call upon Mr. Ravi, Principal of FAPES DPS Kuwait, okay, to welcome.
So you need to unmute your microphones.
Respected dignitaries and all my colleagues assembled on this platform, a very good morning to all. Language is an extraordinary gift of God. It is part of what makes man fully human. Aristotle said, man is a rational animal, and that what sets him apart, what raises him above the animals, is that he has the ability to reason, and it is very clear that he cannot reason without language. One very interesting fact about human language is that they're able to relate incidents or experiences which they have not actually lived, and also of objects and incidents not physically present at the time of speaking. This is because human language is not directly controlled by stimulus. Moreover, apart from the describing real objects, human beings can also describe objects that are unreal or imaginary. Language helps us, rather the society, to keep evolving. Without language, we would have been like apes pointing fingers at what we see. When a person reads about history or chemistry, or even reads the newspaper, he or she begins formulating their own ideas. This causes a person to take action to improve a certain situation. Because of this, human have evolved as a highly intelligent society and are able to use language not only to communicate with each other, but are able to enlighten and educate themselves. Therefore, language plays a very important role in human lives. Communication can be either intentional or unintentional. Succinctly, language within the individual supports thought, rationalization and attribution, creativity, memory, self-direction, self-expression, humor, and even perhaps the aspects of human consciousness. Having said all these, are languages at risk? Now we see people sit together in groups and without interacting human consciousness, they chat with people far away from them. It is the birth of mobile technology which gifted people with this unusual and convenient way of communication. At present, texting is an almost instantaneous communication medium that connects people worldwide, is now a phenomenon that has grown and spread around the globe and at an amazing speed too. This type of language makes use of abbreviations, symbols, and emoticons. As a result, this language shows wide deviation from the standard language and also brings in its wake the beginning of language change. Whole sentences are condensed into abbreviated word, and numbers are used because of their shorter form for spoken words. You know ample examples, like we often say LHO laughing head off, or maybe TTYL, talk to you later. Even very commonly we use G2G, there is go to go, and many more. However, there is a remarkable decline in etiquette in SMS language and other online conversation and correspondence. Language is evolutionary, and the vocabulary and phrase which are used depend on a number of factors like place of residence, maybe age, or also education level, social status, etc., etc. Through human interactions, new words and phrases are picked up and integrated into human speech. Hence, it is often noticed that teenagers and young generations speak differently from the parents or elders. In modern times, language change is being brought about by the need to communicate faster and to convey more in each message. So, with recent technological advances, the use of abbreviated language has become a necessity in order to get across in reasonable time. To make a nation globally competitive, the study and knowledge of foreign language is important. There has been a mushrooming English medium schools all around the world. We all notice it. In spite of the fact that the conscious use of English as the nation's lingua franca is tantamount to perpetuating colonialism or imperialism. Yet there is no alternative indigenous language that can assume the role of English. Here comes the importance of French. In today's world, speaking one foreign language is not enough. Students who speak several languages will increase their chances of finding a job, whether at home or even at abroad. Learning another language enriches the mind and opens up new horizons, both personal and professional. French is, along with English, the only language spoken on all 5 continents. French is often considered the language of culture. A French lesson is a cultural journey into the worlds of fashion, gastronomy, the arts, architecture, and science. Learning French also offers access to the works of great French writers like Victor Hugo, Marcel Proust, and famous poets like Charles Baudelaire, Jacques Prévert in the original text. It means being able to hear the voice of actors like Alain Delon, Juliette Binoche, and the pleasure of being able to understand the words of French songs sung by Edith Piaf and Charles Aznavour, and even sing even yourself. French is both a working language and an official language of the United Nations, the European Union, UNESCO, NATO, the International Olympic Committee, the International Red Cross, international courts, etc. Proficiency in French is essential for everyone and anyone considering a career in any international organization. After English and German, French is the third most widely used language on the internet too. French is an analytical language that structures thought and develops critical thinking. It is a language of great philosophers like Descartes, Sartre, and Derrida, and eminent scientists like Pierre and Marie Curie, Louis Pasteur, etc. This list is long, and we thought of organizing some activity to promote the learning of French language among lockdown school students, especially during these pandemic days. We know that we are all going through a very tough time. And we had a session with the English debate for different students in our own schools in Kuwait, inter-school competitions. When Mr. Mohammed Shafi from Bahrain and Mr. Kaba from Sharjah, through our HOD French department, Mr. Daniel Jagger, approached me, believe me, I didn't have a second thought. I'm sure it is going to be a wonderful platform for our children to rethink about the learning French and its further importance. And that combined effort supported by the faculty and students. Today, this competition, that is the first ever competition in a language in the entire Gulf, became a reality. And believe me, this is just a beginning. Anyway, I am not taking much of the time. I'll come to my August responsibility of welcoming today the eminent personalities and guests like Principal Mr. Arvind Reddy from Ambassador School Sharjah, and Mrs. Preeti Bhutani, the renowned author and French teacher. We have Mr. Jairaj, French HOD, Bangalore. The school is Benesar School. Then, of course, our own Mr. Mohammed Shafi, founder of Gulf French Teachers Forum, Mr. Keba from Sharjah, Mr. Jaigar, our own HOD. We have Vice Principal is here, Head Mr. Sada from our own school, all my colleagues, and all dignitaries who are here, who received a special invitation from us, and the participating students especially. Also, I wish all the best for all the participating students for this today's French quiz. And I wish all of you a very good day, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Now I would like to call upon Mrs. Preeti Bhutani. She was a renowned French language expert, as well as she has authored many books in French. And it's a great honor to have ma'am, with us today. And it's over to you, ma'am. We just, je vous passe la parole. So, vous allez faire un petit discours et vous allez inaugurer notre fête. Allez-y. Merci, madame.
Merci, monsieur. Merci pour cette invitation. Je vais parler en français et un petit peu en anglais en même temps, comme je suis le prof de français. Et ça, c'est une réunion pour les professeurs de français et pour les étudiants de français. But I'll repeat also in English for the people who are not able to understand French. So, as Principal Sir just mentioned about the importance of French language in India, we shouldn't forget that French has been in India as long as English had been. So even French were present in India for almost 300 years and more than that. So French, le français aujourd'hui, c'est divisé en 5 parties. We can say that the French is divided in 5 parts today. It is a language of communication. It is a language of career. It is a language of curricular. It's a language of culture, and it's a language of curiosity, the 5C that we talk about. So the students who are learning French, they don't just see this language as an opportunity to just go to France and settle there, but many more things beyond that. And as it was mentioned about these opportunities by Sir recently, we have Médecins Sans Frontières. So whether we talk about the domain of engineering, whether we talk about the domain of medicine, whether we talk about domain of international trade, everywhere French has excelled, and the students who are learning French have got many more opportunities. Keeping this session brief, I would only like to say that learning is a process, but it is a complete process when it is taken care by not only just the student, but at the teacher also. So it is not just the student who learns, but the teacher also learns. And the group of teachers present today have proved it, that with time, we can modify our ways of teaching. We can modify our ways of presenting the things. And this platform today is an example set by all the teachers. So I would really like to congratulate all of you who have taken this initiative and presented such a good opportunity to all the students. Special thanks to Shafi also for this invitation. I'm very happy to be part of this program today and wishing all the best to all the students. Bonne chance tout le monde. Vous allez faire le meilleur. On est très sûr et très fiers de vous. Merci.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your words, and it was really very good. And thank you once again. And now I'd like to call upon, we have a little surprise for all of you. Like, we have, Priya. I would like to call upon Priya. She is going to sing us a French song. Okay, over to you, Priya.
Je vois la vague prête à me submerger, l'attaque a exalté ma colère. Et encore l'être clos ignoré, ma voix se noie dans le tonnerre. Pourtant j'y crois, la tête haute sans pleurs. Et même s'ils sont là, mais je pourrais me taire. Fini le silence, enfin les prêts, j'avance. Je tremble pas, oui, j'avance. On ne peut m'empêcher de parler. Je respire, comme c'est dans ce temps que j'expire. Pour étouer et même pire, on ne peut m'empêcher de parler. C'est toujours ils inventent les lois, c'est aujourd'hui que tout changeait. Mais cette autre était toi, on peut tout tromper. J'y crois, la tête haute sans pleurs. Même s'ils sont là, jamais je pourrais me taire. Fini le silence, enfin les prêts, j'avance. Je tremble pas, oui, j'avance. On ne peut m'empêcher de parler. Je respire, c'est pour ce temps que j'expire. Pour étouer et même pire, on ne peut m'empêcher de parler. Enfermé dans ce palais, je peux noter à tout jamais. J'attendrai le bleu du ciel et je m'écroulerai les ailes. Mais vous n'aurez jamais, jamais mon silence. Vous ne me verrez pas trembler, moi je avance. On ne peut m'empêcher de parler. On ne peut m'empêcher de parler.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Priya. It was really wonderful. Okay. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Arogya Reddy, Principal of Ambassador School, Sharjah, to address the gathering.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Jacob. Distinguished fellow principal, Mr. Ravi Ainoli, principal of FAPES DPS Kuwait, and the main founder or the pioneer of the French Forum for GCC, Mr. Shafi, and my former colleague, Mr. Jairaj, and present colleague, Keiba, and all other teachers of French and students of French. I'm sure a few of them are here as well. So I think first and foremost, I need to congratulate all the team here on this great platform that we created. So my best regards and good wishes to Mr. Shafi, who is taking the lead, Mr. Jayaka, who has volunteered to conduct this quiz, and Mr. Keba, who is with the online teacher training programs that we are trying to offer. I think this is one of the departments in the school education that has come forward on a voluntary note and which is very proactive in developing the skills, the pedagogical skills, communication skills, technological skills of teachers. And now this quiz is also giving them the academic skills for the students. So I think I should congratulate all these teachers who are so proactive, so willing to spend days and nights together in developing this platform. So I think they definitely deserve a big round of applause from all of us. So thank you so much for all that initiative. And I also thank Ms. Preeti Dhani, who spoke and inspired the teachers very well. And Mr. Ravi, who actually extensively spoke about the importance of learning a language, as well as the world window, in a way, after English is French. Because all over the 5 continents, French is spoken, as Sir said, and which we all know. And French is much simpler to learn, I feel always. I had a lot of passion to learn French. And then, of course, Jairaz knows I did few things. And later, I ensured that both of my kids study French. Maybe it is my dream coming true, which is not the right way of doing it. But yes, they were interested and they study now. Okay. So my only request to everyone is develop the language skills, as many languages as possible. And I'm sure if they can learn French, definitely other European languages also will be much simpler. Because the skill is the same. The same normative case, all those cases come which we don't find in other languages. So they will definitely learn it better, easy. And the other way of looking at is, let us develop not just the academic skills, but also let us make them proficient in the language of French by encouraging our students to appear DELF exams and other exams being conducted by the embassies across the world. I'm sure in my school, I always promote those exams. Mr. Jairaz also has been one of the examiners for those exams. So I'm sure Keba also is joining the team now. So we want to see all the French teachers exploring those possibilities, becoming part of the embassies as examiners for those competitive exams. So if teachers need some support to be trained in those exams and to come up as examiners, I'm sure this platform can definitely help all of us. So please do look at that options as well, Mr. Shafi and the team. That is my request, that we develop all our teachers' competencies so that they become the certified examiners for the competitive exams like DELF. So at the outset, I just want to congratulate all of you once again and wish that this platform will continue to develop and enhance the skills of teachers as well as the students. And I know a couple of weeks back, they conducted a training session on using technology, a lot of skills, a lot of tools. Mr. Shafi, Keba, and Jayakar have already initiated that. And I'm sure you also received the flyer from our school for tomorrow and day after. We're organizing 2 days of workshop in collaboration with Loyola College, Chennai, though their French department and foreign languages department is part of this initiative. So may I request all the teachers who are on this platform, please inform your teachers in your school to join this training, and let's all explore the possibilities and develop our competencies. So may I wish once again all the best, and I especially congratulate Mr. Ravi for taking this initiative on his shoulders to conduct the quiz for all the GCC countries. And I'm sure when we met the other day, we had around about 1,000 students who appeared for it, which is a huge number. Okay. And I think the credit goes to DPS Kuwait. I sincerely thank and appreciate their willingness to take this hard effort. Okay. It's not so easy to conduct online quiz. we have to explore a lot of things into it, whether technology will work, whether the paper can be accessed at the same time by thousands. So there are so many technical aspects involved. If it is a paper pen, it's much easier because we just prepare a set, print it, and give it in hand. Job is done. Okay. But it's not so easy. And I must congratulate Ravi sir and his entire team, Jacker, and the IT team as well. So thank you so much for taking up this initiative. We really appreciate and wish you all success. So thanks to all the teachers and all the best to all the students. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir, for
Just
your
excuse me,
insight.
Jaker, sir. Yeah, just I would like to also add that it's not only the schools from all the GCC. We have the DPS International from Uganda also.
Oh,
so we have reached the African continent. We have
Very
a good
good,
number
sir.
of students
Thank
from DPS International Uganda who are participating today. Okay, Mr. Jaker, continue.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Jairaj. He's a renowned, French language expert. He's the head of the Department of French of Ebenezer School, Bangalore. And I would like to invite him to address the students, to encourage them and to motivate them with his words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody, and special bonjour, mes chers élèves. Donc, so I hope you are confident, well prepared for the quiz. So how confident are you? So that's my first question to you. And this is the time for you to prove that, yes, most of you have opted French as your second language with a lot of dreams, of going abroad, working for French companies, to, advantage to your biodata, your CV, in the profile in the future when you're applying for universities or for jobs. So there are two things that I would like to give as hint to succeed in this exam. Basically, number one, you need to update your vocabulary, especially for today's quiz. I mean, it's too late to update now. It's already time. Fine. So what you need to do is keep reading, not just what is there in the book of CBSE, Entre Jeunes, so general, update of all the language. For instance, I would say COVID-19, COVID-19. Voilà, there was a big discussion on whether it's masculine or feminine. Le COVID-19 or la COVID-19. And for your information, it might help you in today's quiz as well. I don't know. I have no idea about the paper. It's la COVID-19. It is feminine. Okay. And number two, any quiz is going to be challenging. How will the examiner, the person who has said the question, will make the questions challenging or difficult for you is the sentences they use, the words that they use. So my another advice is read the question twice. And as you're all aware, that faux amis, false friends we call it, meaning words look alike in both the languages, English and French, but they really do not mean the same. For instance, actuellement, which we normally think actually, is definitely not actually. As you know, it's in fact. Well, these are the two things I would like to tell you. Keep updating your vocabulary and read the question twice. They might have twisted the question with the sentence formation. So be careful with that. Read the question twice. You'll definitely succeed. So wish you all the best. Bon courage à tous mes élèves, to all my students. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inspiring words. And I would like to call upon Mr. Shafi to give vote of thanks, sir.
Bonjour tout le monde. It's really a great day for all of us, all the French faculty. So little formal way of really thanking. So first of all, I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ravi Ainoli, principal of Halil Al-Wataniya Indian Private School, DPS Kuwait, for his support, guidance, and motivation to launch this GCC level online quiz for class 10 CBSE French students. As he said, there wasn't a second thought from him. He was immediately, in very short time, very less he knows about us, but he accepted. And it was a great support, sir. Thank you, sir, for this support. And also, it is my great pleasure to thank Mr. Arogya Reddy, Principal Ambassador School, Sharjah, UAE, for his guidance and his presence today. And he was the first principal to support us, our first webinar through Gulf French Teachers Forum, which was held in the month of May 2020, where we had a webinar on online teaching and evaluation tools conducted by Mr. Keba. Then also I thank our expert panel here, Madame Preeti Bhutani, well known for her publications and books and lot of French activities. We will be having a very soon collaboration. Thank you, ma'am, for being present with us today and motivating the students and giving insight about learning French. And our Mr. Jairat Gajendran, you know how many students have graduated DELF from him? Normally people say CBSE, what they can do with French. He proved that CBSE is one of the best curriculum with making the students get DELF. And I also had the opportunity to be with him in Qatar. We were in the French Institute as visiting professors. Both we had a lot of courses of French examiners, and we try to break that that CBSE is as good for any international curriculum. So thank you, Gerard sir, taking out. He's a very busy man, and now he shifted to the international curriculum. So taking time and motivating and giving the hints how to prepare oneself. Then I'd like to thank also all the French embassy officials of Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, who have given their moral support. Okay, even though they are not able to be present today due to some other preoccupations, they have given verbally, orally, by written, that whatever activities we are doing through our forum, they are watching it and they are in support of it, because there is a big need of this in this part of the world. And my team members, Mr. Keba, Ambassador School, Sharjah, Mr. Jacob, Fabs, Kuwait. I used to trouble them different times, and we used to brainstorm till yesterday night. We were doing all the tests. Okay, and without any hesitation, they were ready to cooperate. Okay, they didn't ask what will be my this one. Okay, so it's very great, sir. And also we had one international collaboration, one workshop we had with these two to these. Okay, so they took initiative and they worked well coordinated with us. And to conclude, I thank all the principals of the CBSE school of GCC and also Principal DPS International Uganda, and all the French faculties, all the teachers, all my colleagues, I will call it as now we are a big brotherhood fraternity now, who within short note, they encourage the students to participate in this GCC level quiz. We are starting with class 10 students, and very soon we will have different levels where we teachers and the students will benefit. Then finally, all my dear students, merci beaucoup. Okay, you have taken an initiative, a very courageous step to come out, and in this lockdown time, in this time you have come out to participate in this quiz. You have prepared. We have also had news that some people started to download sample papers from CBSE. They're working out, asking doubts with their teachers. Okay, very excellent. So all the best for you. Learn French well and be with us. We'll make our GCC French CBSE to be one of the best. Okay, because we have a lot of experts and supporting pillars. The two principles I will never forget in my life. And this 26th June is a big day. Okay, so bonne chance to all my students, all the participants, and have a nice day. Bonne journée. Over to Mr. Jacob, please.
Thank you, Mr. Shafi. Yeah, I would like to call upon Mr. Keba to address the students, like to give them the guidelines, like about the online quiz that's going to start shortly. Over to you, Mr. Keba.
Yes, sir. Bonjour à tous. Very good morning to one and all. Very good morning, students. I hope you're all really well prepared now for your test. The time starts now. So everyone, you would have received the Google Classroom code. So please ensure that you're logged into Google Classroom. So that is where the test has been scheduled. So please ensure that as you start the quiz, right, the test is scheduled in a Google Forms. So when you just click on the link, you need to ensure that you're filling up all the details. That is your name, your email address, the country name, and which school you belong to. And then you may just start answering the questions. And at the end, towards the end of the test, you need to click submit. So unless and until you submit the test, we will not receive the quiz. So wish you all the best, students. And we are here at the back end monitoring your quiz. So wish you all the best and do well. Bonne chance.
All the principals and all the chief guests who have took time to come over and to grace the occasion, and all the vice principal, headmisters, and all my fellow dear friends. Thank you, and we are going to just start the quiz in few minutes. Okay, thank you for all your support. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.